Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and daily Chelsea update. And as always, guys, there is plenty to dive into. Breaking news in the last 15 or 20 minutes. Bayern Munich are interested in Levi Colwill and initial talks have reportedly taken place. We're going to dive into that. Fabrizio Romano providing an update on Michael Olise. Chelsea are currently ahead in the race for the Crystal Palace star. Benjamin Sesko is also expected to make a decision on his future very soon, with Chelsea, Arsenal and Man United all in the mix. It's feared that Nicholas Jackson might not be fully fit for Chelsea's pre-season campaign after suffering the ankle injury that we discussed yesterday. And there's also potential interest. Chelsea and Spurs have apparently made checks on Stuttgart winger Chris Führich, with offers expected for the players. You've got a €26 million release clause. Could be an Olise alternative potentially. So there is lots to dive into. Colwill, Olise, Sesko, plus loads more, guys. Big up to everyone that is already locked in the building. Smash up the likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. 60 subscribers away now from 10K, guys. So every new subscriber helps. Smash the subscribe button if you are not if you're not subscribed, become part of the channel, join the journey, guys. Edging ever closer now, just 60 subscribers. Let's get more of these subs knocked off tonight. And as always, guys, run those likes up, people. Run those likes up. You lot know what to do. Right, let's say hello to a few people in the chat, and then let's dive into tonight's show. Look, we don't need the Crystal Palace player. He's another injury-prone player. I wouldn't say he was injury-prone. He's suffered reoccurrences of hamstring injuries. It's not ideal, but I wouldn't say he was an injury-prone player. We need to keep Gallagher and Chalobah by. Osimhen is not coming. Too expensive, and they don't think he's going to suit the style of play. I don't have an issue with Osimhen not coming. Winstanley or Winstanley fans, just get out of our club and take Stuart with you. We don't want or need these players. We need you to give Gallagher a new contract. Let's wait and see what happens. Hope we get Michael Olise done. Yeah, I do as well. I pray Olise is done. Let's hope so. Arsenal looking at Solanke and other options. Yeah, but again, I would say clubs always look, though, anyway, just in case, because you can never be certain. Every time Chelsea tries to build something, these clubs always try and come in and ruin it. Yeah, I hear it. Yes, big up, bro, big up. I'm going to dive into this right now. Look, what I would maybe agree, but there's a pattern here which is not great, if we're being totally honest. There's a pattern here which isn't great. The only way Colwill goes is they offer 50 mil, comes in, and these owners will gobble it up. Yeah, maybe. But look, let's get into this Colwill stuff then, guys. You know, let's start with this because that is the big breaking news in the last half hour or so. And whilst you could say, oh, he's not for sale, he signed a new 6-year contract last summer and all this, you know, exclusive. Bayern Munich are seriously considering the a transfer of Levi Colwill. The 21-year-old centre-back from Chelsea has been on Bayern's list for a long time. If a move for Jonathan Tah, the Leverkusen centre-back, doesn't work out, Colwill is the top alternative for Bayern. It's also possible that he could join in addition. Important for Bayern, he's left-footed. Understand initial talks with Bayern have taken place. That's mad, if true. That is mad if true. Now, what I would say is that there's no smoke without fire. You know, am I saying that Levi Colwill is going to go and join Bayern Munich this summer? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is no smoke without fire on this one, guys. And there must be something in this. There must be something in this. And the problem we've got here, right, is the problem we've got here, guys, is that with this current model. And as I said, there's no smoke without fire. One of the many problems with this strategy at this point in time right now is that players that should be untouchable at the football club are simply not. You know, how many times, how often do you see any offers go in for Vinicius Jr.? Clubs try and sign Kevin De Bruyne in his prime. Is anyone going to try and sign Phil Foden? No, because they know that they're untouchables at their clubs. Why? This is the second summer in a row now that clubs have tried to sign Levi Colwill or have been encouraged to come and try and make a move for him. That shouldn't be happening, and that's the downfall of this strategy. And a problem is that players that should be untouchable at the football club, like Colwill, are not. You know, Colwill and James should be untouchable. Football clubs know who is available and who isn't available. You know, this is why clubs don't consider moves, as I said, for the likes of Foden, for the likes of De Bruyne in his prime, for the likes of your Vinicius Juniors. Is anyone going to go and try and make a move for, I don't know, let's think. Is anyone going to go and try and make a move for Bukayo Saka? No, because they know that those guys are untouchable for their football club. So there's no smoke without fire here. There's a reason why these stories are coming out. There's a reason why these stories are coming out. That there is an element of truth in there somewhere. You know, somewhere along the line, there is an element of truth with this situation. You know, and in an ideal world, as I've said, you've got a contract until 2030. That should therefore indicate you are untouchable and not for sale. The problem with Chelsea is the contracts seem to be hardly worth the paper they're written on. You know, if you've got a longer deal, it just means you can get more money for the player when you eventually sell them. You know, it's obviously going to come with a heavy price tag. The real issue here is that is this the second or third summer? Definitely second, could be third summer in a row that clubs are seemingly encouraged to be interested. We have Liverpool and Brighton last summer, you know, and then people could say, oh, maybe his camp want a higher paying contract. It was like, well, then let's think about that logically. How can you want a higher paid contract 1 year into a 6-year deal that you signed the previous summer, and you've missed 3 or 4 months of the season just gone on the sidelines? That doesn't make any sense either. Like, for me, you can say all you want that Levi Colwill is not going anywhere. The fact of the matter is, guys, that these headlines, but these reports are coming out for a reason. Something somewhere along the line is suggesting that, you know, whether it's Colwell's camp, whether it's Bayern getting encouragement from Chelsea or from whatever it might be, there is a fundamental issue with this model, because players, there should be certain players at the football club that are untouchable, and that just doesn't seem to be the case at Chelsea. You know, you'd like to think that if an offer came in for Reece James, it wouldn't be given the light of day, and clubs would know not to go for him. The problem is, guys, is that, you know, when the precedent gets set at Chelsea, like it is at the moment, where, you know, in theory, anyone's available. You know, in theory, anyone's available. You know, that's the way that it seems to be at Chelsea right now. And that's not a good way to be operating a football club. Really not a good way to be operating a football club. I don't know what the best solution is here, guys. I really don't, because this is the third summer in a row that we're getting these reports that Levi Colwill might want to leave the football club. Olise to Chelsea is a done deal. Just remember who broke it to you first. Okay. Company knows there's a possibility. This model makes it easier to come for players who aren't winning trophies. This is how City decimated Arsenal. Look, I mean, someone somewhere is getting encouragement that a deal might be possible, and that in itself is the big problem. I don't see Colwill leaving. Fair. We aren't forced to sell anyway, so I pray Colwill and the owners have made it clear. Let's hope so. Colwell's guaranteed 55-60 million bag. That's mouth-watering for the business merchants. Yeah, it is. Jackson injured now with bad injury. Yeah, we covered that, so we're going to get into it. I wouldn't say it was fake news. You know, there are other reliable reporters out there. Yes, of course, you know, if it comes from Fabrizio or David Ornstein or whatever, then yeah, you tend to believe it a bit more. But you know, there's no doubt that, you know, there's something in this. You know, this doesn't just get put out for no reason. There is something in this. Colwill, James, every homegrown player is up for sale. I would almost agree to an extent. Colwill didn't play very well yet. He's staying. Colwill's not going anywhere. What else got here? 100k deal. This isn't about wanting a new deal. Company and Bayern looking at Chelsea, and they know they can convince them. I don't even think it's about convincing Chelsea. They know that Chelsea would sell. It's about convincing the player. And look, I'd like to think that I think Colwill wants to stay at Chelsea, but the fact that this stuff's coming out is not great. Is really not great. There's so much coming in. Excuse me. Trouble is, Joey, we're now seen as a selling club. Look, I think every club sells, but yeah, I think, in the past, people wouldn't have looked at Chelsea and gone, well, do you know what, we'll chance our luck on some of their players. Now, people are looking at Chelsea and they're thinking, yeah, do you know what? There's a chance here. Under this new ownership, they are more than willing to sell. And that's the problem. Look, I'm not overthinking too much, but the fact of the matter is that as I said, there's no smoke without fire. There's a reason why, these things are coming out. There is a reason why this stuff comes out, and we need to find out why. Florian Plettenberg is pretty good. I'm not saying he's gospel and everything he said is absolutely 100% bang on, but he is pretty accurate with a lot of things, and particularly with German stuff. He's a Sky Germany reporter. If it was like stuff to do with the Premier League, maybe not so much, but this is to do with Bayern Munich and whatnot. I suspect, in my opinion, there's something in this. Whether people want to agree or not is entirely up to them. But I suspect there's something in this. Doesn't mean that Colwell's going to leave, but I suspect there is genuine interest from Bayern, and I suspect that there's something in this. Initial talks with Bayern have taken place. If that's the case, by the way, and this is still a big if because no one really knows. But if that is the case, if you don't want to leave Chelsea, right, and you're set on staying at the football club, why have you entertained talks with another team if you're only focused on Chelsea and you're dead set on staying at the football club? If you're dead set on staying at Chelsea, you don't entertain talks with another team. That's the worrying thing here. Maybe he's not, but the fact that these rumors keep reoccurring is not great. Well, you say that he wasn't convinced last summer. He signed a new 6-year deal last summer during pre-season. So he must have been pretty convinced, because if he wasn't convinced, he wouldn't have signed that contract that he signed, the 6-year contract. So we can't say that he wasn't convinced last summer, because he obviously was, because he wouldn't have signed. Okay, but at least these owners are likely to want a big sum, which most likely Bayern won't pay. If they want 35 million for Martin, imagine how much for Colwill. Yeah, you'd like to think at least double. Let's wait and see. I mean, look, I don't know what De Ligt's like these days. I mean, he's obviously not. His stock's taken a bit of a dip. He's not been that great at Juventus or Bayern. He's struggled to develop really since his Ajax days. Under this new ownership, every player has a price. Even the likes of Reece James. It's all about the profit they can make. Everyone's got a price. No, this is different to Nkunku. This is different to Nkunku. I don't see this as a similar thing to Nkunku at all. We just don't know. You'd like to think not, but honestly, you don't know what's going on at the end of the day. You really don't know what's going on. Yes, big up, bro, big up. So yeah, I mean, you'd like to think that Colwill is untouchable, but it's so difficult to tell. It is so difficult to tell, and the evidence we've got from this new ownership at this point in time, it would suggest that despite people thinking, he's definitely not for sale. I think there's a chance that he could be. Yes, he's under contract until 2030, but I honestly think there's a chance that he could be. All the top clubs seem to rate Levi Colwill. There's no doubt about it. We can say he's not for sale all we want, but at the end of the day, he's got 6 years left to run on his contract. What I would say is this is where the importance of tying players down to long-term contracts can be seen. But ultimately, I see a long-term contract as two things. Ability to spread cost, as one, if it's applicable, but also it's to enable you it's to protect your asset at the end of the day. It's to enable you to get as much money as possible because they've got so many years left on the contract. That's the reality of the situation here. In my view, guys, that is the reality of the situation in my view, because I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. There's definitely something in this for me. I'm not saying it's going to happen or anything, but I feel like there's something rumbling potentially. I really wouldn't be surprised if a team this summer did put in a bid for Colwill. I'm not saying it's going to be accepted. I'm not saying he's gonna go or anything like that. But I really wouldn't be surprised if there was a bid for Levi Colwill to come in this summer. Colwill should be untouchable. He should be, 21 years of age, highly sought after. All the big clubs appreciate him. An academy graduate, top player. That should be deemed untouchable. At many, many clubs, that would be deemed untouchable. But clearly at Chelsea, maybe that's not deemed untouchable. Yeah, of course, but it's not. It's always been up to the player. But the fact of the matter is that Chelsea shouldn't even be entertaining offers for it. And the fact that there's a strong belief that they could well entertain offers for Colwill is not great. CW is your best centre back. CW is your best. You can't sell him. Colwill isn't going anywhere. Tar is going to Bayern. Well, let's wait and see. Obviously, Jonathan Tar is their main target. Rather sell Badiashile or Disasi. I think everyone would rather sell Disasi. Yeah. Look, there's always a chance. Look, you say, Chelsea won't let it happen. But what evidence have we got to suggest that Chelsea wouldn't let something like this happen? We don't have any evidence. We don't have any evidence whatsoever that Chelsea wouldn't let something like this happen. That's what I'm saying. This is what I was saying about these owners. They're here to make money. That's what they are all about. These guys would sell their mothers as a player so they could make $1. Fair enough. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But if initial talks have taken place, you'd have to question why that's the case. Because if you were happy and you didn't want to leave, you wouldn't be exploring other places, would you? You just wouldn't. So if we take this report for what it's worth, right, and let's just say this is true, that initial talks have taken place, then that would suggest that he's not entirely happy at Chelsea, or he is happy, but he could be happier somewhere else, and he's exploring his options. You don't meet with another club or hold talks with another club if you're 100% set at a football club. That's my point here. Yes, guys, keep running those likes up. Nearly 150 in the building. Big up to every single person that is locked in, guys. 65 likes. Let's get this up to 100 likes. That should be light work, people. Light work. And keep subscribing to the channel as well. 60 subscribers from the big 10K. Let's try and get another 10,000 let's try and get another 10 subscribers tonight. Let's get to 9,950. Smash up that subscribe button. Join the community. Become part of the journey. Remember, at 10K, guys, there's a Chelsea giveaway shirt of your choice from the upcoming season when they get released. So yeah, smash the subscribe button and run those likes up, guys. There's definitely 10 people in it that aren't subscribed, so make sure you are subscribing to the channel, guys. If he wants to leave, then he's gone. It's not as simple as that. The club wanted to keep. Look, if he wants to leave, then he's gone. Potentially, if the money's offered, how much should I say Colwell's worth? I'd say 60, 70 million pounds in my view. He really didn't want to sign a contract last summer. If he didn't want to sign it, he wouldn't have signed it. No one's forced him to sign that contract. So I don't believe that. I don't believe in the notion that he didn't want to sign. I think he absolutely did want to sign that contract because no one forced him to sign it. The so-called Chelsea project is actually being run like a supermarket. Anyone and everyone is basically a product for sale, and the babes are more like fresh veal rather than aged, mature steak. Fair. No, look, no one's saying he's leaving or probably leaving. It's just like, it's just interesting that this has come out. You know, he shouldn't be going anywhere. They are free to show interest, but he's not going anywhere. But what the whole point is that you wouldn't, if you knew that someone was off limits, you wouldn't go and express an interest in them in the first place. You know, a load of teams want Vinicius Jr. A load of teams would love Phil Foden. Are they about to go and express interest in those players? No, they're not, because they know there is absolutely no chance of them leaving. Whereas at Chelsea, it feels like, you know, teams feel there's a chance that Chelsea would sell their players. You know, that's the thing. Yeah, but this was a different. That was a different ownership. That was a different ownership then. This ownership, for me, I think, are far more likely to want to sell players. That's the likelihood. No, Enzo's not injured again. No, 5-year contract. They will pay £80 million. Bro, that's mad. Upamecano is just literally a walking liability. He really is. He's got a mistake in him pretty much every single game. He's littered with mistakes. So yeah, I mean, he's still 25 years of age. He's been around for a while, but yeah, the guy is, yeah, I don't rate him. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't rate him at all. I don't think he's particularly good. He's just a complete liability. That's the reality of the situation. For me, is that he's just a liability, pure and simple. You know, and look, you can look at this. You can look at this Colwill. You can look at this Colwill stuff in two ways. You know, you can look at it as the fact that, you know, Chelsea have not made it clear that he's untouchable or whatever, or you could look at it in a way where you think any clubs are free to dream and you know, have a fantasy about signing players. You know, unless the player or the club that are selling indicates interest in selling, then it's hard to see how much legs something has got. There's definitely that way of viewing things. But yeah, I don't know is the honest answer to this. I'm unsure. You know, we saw Bayern last summer try to get Trevor Chalobah. That fell through. You know, are they going to seriously try and push? I mean, look, if they get Jonathan Tah, I don't see it happening if they get Jonathan Tah. But if they don't get Jonathan Tah and he ends up staying at Bayer Leverkusen or he explores going elsewhere, then yeah, there is a potential issue. No doubt about it. There is a potential issue for sure. No, I don't think there's a need to be scared, but I would be a little bit concerned that, you know, these sorts of reports keep coming out, even though, you know, Colwill should be an untouchable, and clubs should know what players are and aren't available. And you just feel like the players that that shouldn't be available at Chelsea, you actually feel like there's a chance that, you know, they could well be, and that's not a brilliant position to be in at all. Really not a brilliant position to be in. So let's have a look. If there's anything extra being added to the Colwill stuff. I mean, look, I think Colwill, if like Colwill fit and playing his best, I think him and Fofana, by the way, is Chelsea's best centre-back pairing. And if they can both stay fit next season, then that's where I see it going. You know, Colwill and Fofana is Chelsea's first choice centre back pairing. That would be my view on the situation. But again, concrete alternative. So look, he's on the list. Whether initial talks are taking place or not is neither here nor there to a certain degree. But we know that, Bayern I don't think Bayern Munich are about to drop 60, 70, 80 million pounds on a centre-back. So, yeah, I'd be surprised if this advanced anywhere. But this is Chelsea, and you can never say never on this front. You can never say never on this front. But that is the latest on Levi Colwill. But I think, if this ownership, in a hypothetical situation, if this ownership were to push ahead and sell Levi Colwill, then, if that was I mean, look, is there a chance that they're thinking, maybe they might keep Gallagher and Chalobah and then they might sell Colwill instead? I've got no idea, but you can guarantee that, at a time when they're trying to, get the fans back on side, build a good relationship, I can tell you now, selling Levi Colwill is would not be a good way of going about things. But yeah, that is the breaking news in regards to Levi Colwill, is that reportedly Bayern Munich have got a strong interest, is seriously considering a move for him. And reportedly initial talks have taken place. Let's see what comes of this. Let's see how it develops. We had it all last summer with Brighton and Liverpool. Let's see if it develops in a similar way over the next summer, over this summer. Let's wait and see. But that is the latest on Levi Colwill, guys. Bayern Munich are interested, and initial talks have apparently taken place. This is definitely one to watch this space, and let's see what happens. But let's get into the main stuff then, guys. Let's get into the main stuff. And we're going to be discussing, obviously, Michael Olise. So Fabrizio Romano had been on the United stand today discussing Michael Olise. And he was saying, as it stands, Chelsea are further in the race for Michael Olise. United are still interested, though, and will look to do a deal once the manager situation is concluded. Well, to be honest, for them, it could be too late by then. I don't know when they're planning on sorting out their managerial situation, but it could well be too late by then. Some reports are even indicating that Chelsea have agreed personal terms with Olise. Some reports are even suggesting personal terms have been agreed. Now, I don't know if those are a bit wide of the mark, a little bit premature, but it certainly feels like we're in the driving seat. But you definitely cannot rule out. You cannot rule out Bayern Munich, not Bayern Munich. Sorry, you cannot rule out United in the race for Olise. But it appears clear right now that I guess their main priority is sorting out their managerial situation, which has obviously given Chelsea a chance to steal a bit of a march, continue the positive groundwork that we laid last summer, and carry on from there, and hope that we can get a deal concluded. That's the way that we're looking at things right now. So that was the first bit of information that Fabrizio provided on Michael Olise, and then there was more. There was more. Let me just bring it up now. Where are we? So he was also added. Now I will say Chelsea are in a different position. They already signed a new player in Tosin. They're their new manager, and they're really pushing to make things happen as soon as possible. This is not a drill. This is not some sort of pipe dream. Chelsea genuinely want Michael Olise, and they are going to do whatever it takes to make this deal happen this summer. If there's a chance of pulling this one off, it has to be done. We're ahead in the race, but it doesn't mean that the race is concluded. Anything can happen in a race. A few obstacles could come across the course and whatnot, and we could come a cropper. But I'm starting to feel a little bit more confident now. I'm not saying I'm expecting this to happen, but I'm starting to feel a bit more confident now on this one. Olise's brother's at the club's academy. He spent time at the club's academy. He knows Joe Shields. He appreciates Chelsea's interest in him from last summer. We almost had a deal done last summer. I presume that many of the personal terms and the deal agreed then will probably be very similar to what they are now. We've got all the frameworks in place, so there's no reason why this can't happen. There's no reason why this shouldn't happen. So there's potential here, guys. I don't want to tempt fate, but we are. To me, it feels like we're getting closer. It feels like we are getting closer. I don't want to say that we should be really confident, but nothing yet has been. Nothing yet has been agreed. Although there is a report suggesting that personal terms have been agreed. Let me just see if I can find it now, because apparently there is a report stating that personal terms have been agreed. Let's see if that's the case here. Let me see if I can find it. But one thing that I would say is clear is that Chelsea are absolutely pushing, and they are determined to get this done. So this is from Give Me Sport, an exclusive apparently. Chelsea have now agreed personal terms with Crystal Palace forward Olise and will now discuss scheduling payments for his release clause. Personal terms agreement. Sources have confirmed to Give Me Sport that Chelsea have verbally agreed personal terms with Olise after originally doing the same last summer. It's understood that Chelsea are now speaking to Crystal Palace regarding the scheduling of payments for his release clause as they push ahead to secure his signature. It's possible that other clubs enter the race and beat Chelsea to the signing of Olise, with Man United still keen, and they could present an offer for the Palace star. A deal isn't close yet, but it's a big step forward for Chelsea as they look to bring Olise to Stamford Bridge. Nothing has officially been signed by Olise or Chelsea, but there's a verbal agreement between the two parties. Chelsea and United aren't the only clubs that are interested in signing Olise this summer, but it appears that Enzo Maresca's side are doing everything they can to convince him to make the short trip across London. So depending on what you believe, personal terms either have or haven't been agreed. We don't know. We don't know on that front just yet, but things are getting closer. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's true. But some reports are saying personal terms have been agreed. Others are saying talks are going to begin this week. I suspect the truth is somewhere in the middle. Wish the club would spend more time looking for a striker rather than FIFA 24 signings of unneeded players. I hear you, but when you get a player of Olise's quality become available, then you need to go for it and you need to get the deal done. I suspect, look, Olise would be happy with both moves, but I think the way that we're pushing after him makes me think that there's more chance of him choosing us. I'm not getting too carried away because of what happened last summer when we all thought this deal was done. But let's see what's possible. Let's see what's possible, guys. 157 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in. 93 likes. Let's get this up and over 100 likes. Smash that thumb button, guys. Hit the thumbs up. Run these likes up over 100. That should be light work, people. The likes really help more than you could imagine. It helps boost the content in the YouTube algorithm, get more eyes on the channel. So yeah, smash up those likes and keep subscribing to the channel. We are edging ever closer now to 10K. Okay, we are getting ever closer. So keep subscribing, guys. 6 more subscribers required to hit 9,950. Let's get them knocked off now. Smash the likes, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And let's see what people are saying in the chat. This weekend, Fabrizio will announce Chelsea has agreed personal terms and is a done deal. Keep it in mind. Well, let's see what happens. I'll come back to this on the weekend and we'll see what the situation is. Literally 90% of Chelsea fans didn't want him until United was interested. Not true. Not true at all. We wanted him last summer. We'd agreed a deal last summer, and then it fell through. So the Chelsea's interest in Olise, I'd imagine, has been there longer than Man United's interest in Olise has been there. And look, there's still a chance United could pull something out of the bag, but I think the reality is that just like with Toscano Rabayo, you're going to miss out on another one. I don't want to dream. Mudryk and Olise on the wings. Alvarez striker in Kunku 10. Well, what about Palmer? That he's obviously got to be in there. Sterling has to go. Yeah, I don't think he's going to go at all. We've always needed a striker. That's clear as day. We've needed a striker. That's clear as day. Look, we're going to dive into that, but I'm not too sure. He said he wanted us more though. Look, at the end of the day, what he has or hasn't said is neither here nor there. The facts are that Chelsea are leading the race currently for Olise, but there's still a long way to go in this one. But one thing is for certain: Chelsea are pushing, and they are pushing hard for Michael Olise. I mean, look, some other clubs could come in last minute, or some other clubs could be working away in the background. But it does genuinely appear to be that it is either Chelsea or Man United for Michael Olise. And he is going to be playing his football at one of those two clubs next season. That seems to be the reality of the situation on this one. That's what it appears to be right now at this point in time. But we're waiting to see. Again, I've got no doubt about it that Chelsea have been in talks with Olise's representatives, with Olise's agents and whatnot, to ascertain his thoughts on a move. There's no doubt that has 100% taken place. That has absolutely taken place. No doubt about it. But we're now just kind of sorting out. We need to sort out X, Y, Z things. In terms of structure of release clause. I mean, what actually is the release clause? It's believed to be complicated. There's going to be. I'm sure we're going to meet this week and get something done. I wonder whether this week this could be something that moves quickly. Chelsea are really pushing and insisting for Olise. They want to bring as many players in before July. I'm suspecting in the next week or two, guys. Let's see on that front. I think in the next week or two, there's a chance that things could move forward. With this, there's definitely a chance. I think it could suddenly happen quite quickly. I think there's a possibility. I think there's a possibility. I think there's a possibility that this happens. I think it could just literally come out of nowhere, and then suddenly in the next week or 10 days, I suspect we could well have some sort of conclusion on this situation in the next week or 10 days. That would be my current thoughts on proceedings. I'm still irritated by this Colwill story. Is it really true? I think there's some element of truth in it for sure. Whether it's 100% true or not, I don't know. But I think there's definitely an element of truth in there, in my view. Yeah, let's hope so. There's some big here we goes that Chelsea fans are going to be hoping for this summer. Some big here we goes. Agreed. If we sell Levi, I'm sure we are buying new centre back, maybe more experienced one. Nothing bad regarding Levi, but Poch made him look bad. It wasn't even that bad at left back, to be honest. And then when he went into the centre, he did very well. So yeah, I don't see any issues in regards to Colwill. I see Olise more as a playmaker like Palmer than a 1v1 player. He can do both roles. He is predominantly a winger. but he can play in the 10 role. But I think if he came to Chelsea, he'd be more used on the right-hand side. It will be him and Madueke on the right wings, Mudryk and Sterling on the left, and then Nkunku and Palmer as the number 10s. That would be how it would be built, up in the squad, in my view. So whilst he can play in the 10 role, I think it's one of those where if he does join, he's going to be predominantly used as a right winger. That is how I see it. Predominantly used as a right winger in my view. Any left wing news? No, definitely not. But yeah, that appears to be the latest on Michael Olise, guys. There's things are heating up, and there's a lot more things that are starting to come to fruition now. Things are heating up. Not more rumors, but a lot more reports are coming out regarding certain players, and it's an exciting one. It really is. But this Olise deal would be one of the biggest of the summer. Not in terms of transfer fee necessarily, but in terms of the signal of intent that it sends. Because this is one of the hottest properties in the Premier League. And the fact that we're playing Conference League football, we're not really that close to challenging for the top 4, and he would still come to join us, that would show that we've still got something about us, despite what our performances on the pitch have suggested. This really would be a huge statement if we could pull off this Michael Olise deal. Do I feel confident for the top 4? I wouldn't say confident. I think there's definitely an opportunity, but it is going to be difficult. But it's absolutely there for the taking. No doubt about it. The top 4 is 100% there for the taking. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely no news on Ronald Araujo at Barcelona. They don't want to sell him. Whether offers will come in or not remains to be seen. But in terms of Chelsea and Araujo, there doesn't seem to be anything there. Why does he want United when it's not even about this? Look, Olise is a boyhood Man United fan. That's one of the big things. He's a boyhood United fan. Obviously, it'd be his dream to play for the football club, but he's also very, very open and very keen on a switch to Chelsea. So, Olise, if he chose United, wouldn't necessarily be about where they are right now. Let's make no mistake about it. Man United are the biggest club in the Premier League and one of the biggest clubs in the world. And a lot of players will want to play for them. And the fact that it's his boyhood club, you can understand why that would be the case. But as I was saying, this would be a huge statement of intent. A huge statement of intent if we can pull this deal off. It would be absolutely massive for us. We've got a situation where things are getting a bit tasty, where we're excited about things, and it's hard not to get carried away. It's hard not to think, fuck, Olise is going to be wearing a Chelsea shirt next season. You can guarantee, right? If we sign Olise, I am 100% getting Olise on the back of next season's Chelsea shirt. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. That is exactly what I'd be doing. Will Olise happen? I haven't heard enough concrete evidence. Look, it's impossible to say will it happen because we don't know for certain, but the indications from the reports that are coming out would say that Chelsea are ahead in the race for Olise. But in terms of anything being agreed, we haven't got to that stage yet, but talks are scheduled to take place this week. So there's definitely a chance that something could happen. There's potential for something to happen, for opportunities to occur. So yeah, I think there's so let's wait and see. If this happens, I thank Joe Shields. Yeah, Joe Shields is a major factor in this. Yes, big up, brother, big up. Have you covered the Colwill discussion? Yep, have covered the Colwill discussion. Like to think he's not for sale, but with this football club, you never know. You just never know of this football club, and that's part of the problem with this new regime. Olise, same profile as Dembele, either so much. Yeah, he's got a lot of potential, massive potential. I mean, 16 GNA in just 19 Premier League appearances last year is big. 10 goals, 6 assists. Yeah, the guy's got ability. The guy has got ability. There's no doubt about it. For me, I would sell with a buyback clause. I would sell with a buyback. Levi, 50 million comes in from and buyback 75 in a few years. I probably wouldn't be doing that. They said he's agreed a contract. No, I don't think he has agreed a contract. That's getting a little bit premature, a little bit ahead of ourselves. But there's absolutely legitimate interest there. Chelsea are leading the race. You know, that's where we are. That's where we are at right now. Let's wait and see, though. Let's wait and see. But I expect, you know, we could get some. I suspect there could be some serious developments on the Michael Olise front this week. So, I mean, look, the Euros starts on Friday. I mean, he's not involved in the Euros, but the Euros start on Friday. You know, Chelsea want as many players in for the door before the pre-season starts. There is the small matter that Olise has been called up to the French Olympic squad, and you know, we perhaps wouldn't want him to be going there if he does come. We want him to have a full pre-season, hit the ground running at the football club. These are all important things, but it would be a huge signal of intent, a huge statement, and it would show that, you know, despite the fact that we're out of Europe, we're playing Conference League football and we're not sure when we're going to be back in the Champions League. We are still a huge draw to players, particularly the younger players who, in their childhood, would have grown up watching the club win absolutely everything. You know, that's where we're at right now at this point in time with Michael Olise. Guys, we're 164 in the building. Keep smashing that like button, people. We're 116 likes. This should be on 150 likes. There should be 30 more likes, no problem. So smash the thumbs up button, guys. It's free. It takes seconds to do. And yeah, you lot are normally pretty good at this. You always smash it. So let's get it done. Run the likes up, guys. Another 30 likes. Let's get this to 150 on the like front. And keep subscribing to the channel as well. There are 169 in the building. 6 more subscribers required to reach 9,950. Smash that subscribe button, guys. There's definitely 5 of you in here who aren't subscribed. So please hit the subscribe button. Help me take another step closer to the big 10K. Yeah, join the community, join the channel. There's a shirt giveaway at 10K. Make sure you're subscribed to being with a chance of winning a Chelsea shirt for your of your choice for the upcoming season. So yeah, guys, please subscribe to the channel. We are so close now, so close. We're 56 away. Let's get this to 50 away. So smash that subscribe button and keep running the likes up. If we believe all the reports coming out, his preferred destination is Chelsea. Unfortunately, United links are not going away. Yeah, because United are still there and are still firmly interested. That's the reality of the situation. United are still there, and United are absolutely still interested. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. But yeah, that is the latest on Michael Olise. Chelsea are ahead in the race. They're laying a lot of groundwork. They're pushing hard, and they want to get this done. You know, as soon as possible. So let's wait and see. Pushing to make things happen. So, you know, these things do take time, but I suspect, you know, there's definitely a chance that, you know, I'd say in the next week to 10 days, there's an opportunity for sure that we could get some pretty serious updates on Michael Olise. But that is the latest on the Michael Olise front. Moving on to another one of Chelsea's top transfer targets, and that is the name of Benjamin Sesko. Now he's currently preparing for the Euros with Slovenia, and he will be facing England at the Euros in the group stage. So he can kind of get maybe he'll play with his future teammates Cole Palmer and Conor Gallagher. Who knows? But Sesko currently preparing for the Euros. You know, obviously, as we know, There's interest from Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, perhaps other clubs as a contract extension coming from Leipzig, or is already on the table from Leipzig, and he is currently deciding his future. Do we expect a decision before the Euros starts? I'm not too sure. Or maybe there could be, because he doesn't want the speculation hanging over him whilst he's on international duty. Or maybe we get a resolution to this after the Euros. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Maybe we get a conclusion after the Euros. But yeah, let's bring this up on Benjamin Sesko. Fabrizio Romano again on the United stand earlier today, stating that he believes that I expect Benjamin Sesko to make his decision very soon. Now, it's impossible to quantify what very soon is, but I would imagine, there could be a small chance that we get a decision from Benjamin Sesko soon. He doesn't think it's going to be, he thinks it's going to be resolved before the Euros. But again, no guarantee because it's down to the player, but he believes that he's going to decide as soon as possible. We could get something before the Euros. That would be crazy if we got something before the Euros. It really good. It really would be. Fabrizio adding here that, Sesko doesn't really like to be in the media too much and all that. But he's adding really soon there could be a final answer. United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and again, Leipzig as well. The proposal is still there. The contract extension is still available, and it'll be the opportunity for him to be the main man of the team. So Leipzig, again, are really trying to keep him as well for at least one more season. So that remains a possibility as well. I think we've got to realise that, it's not a given that Sesko definitely leaves Leipzig. There's not a given that Sesko 100% leaves Leipzig this summer. There's no rush for him to go anywhere, is there? Really? He's 21 years of age. There is no rush right now. So it will be really interesting to see what does happen and what decision he takes. For me, to be honest, I really wouldn't be surprised if he stayed at RB Leipzig. It's only one more. He's only done one season now. He only joined last summer. There's clear ability there. We know that. And right now the decision is absolutely down to the player. Absolutely down to the player right now. But Fabrizio Romano thinking that a decision could be made very, very soon, and possibly before the Euros, which would mean that it would need to be made in the next 3 or 4 days. So let's wait and see. Just a joke. Vinny Rodrigo, and after signing Mbappe and Endrick, can we just try to get another ex-City player like Brahim Diaz? Brahim Diaz is a good footballer. I don't think he'll be leaving Real Madrid. No, I wouldn't. I suspect, obviously Man United are interested, but I suspect that the real reality here is that it's either Chelsea or Arsenal, or he extends his stay at Leipzig. That's how I would see it. If we miss out on Sesko, who do we pivot to? This is something I've discussed, in previous streams. That is a bit of a worry because the alternatives are not that great at all. The alternatives really aren't that good to Benjamin Sesko. So if we were to miss out on Sesko, that's where I think a lot of these Julian Alvarez rumours have come from. But again, you're looking at players like John Duran and players of that ilk. So yeah, it's a bit of a concern. It really is a slight concern, to be perfectly honest. It really is a bit of a concern, the alternatives to Sesko. But that is the latest on Benjamin Sesko, is that, Chelsea have been in contact with his agents. There is an offer on the table from Chelsea reportedly. And now we're just waiting for the player to decide. I think everyone's pitched their offers, and it's a case of waiting for the player to decide what he's going to do. That is what we are waiting for right now on Benjamin Sesko. And, Fabrizio Romano saying that we could get a decision before the Euros. I'm not saying we definitely will, but we could. If we don't get a decision this week, guys, then I would find it hard to imagine that I find it hard to imagine that we get a decision we get a decision until after the Euros. Then, if we don't get a decision before the Euros starts, then the likelihood is the decision will come after the Euros. I don't expect a decision to be taken between during the tournament. Do I think we're signing? Do you think we are signing Sesko? Tough. Look, we're definitely interested. I think we could definitely look at doing it. And it's a possibility, but it's down to the player. And ultimately, we're not gonna pull off every signing that we go for. So at some point, we are going to get players are going to choose other clubs over us. So I like to think it doesn't happen with Sesko, but for me personally, I think he's our priority target. But it's going to be really tough. It's going to be really, really difficult to see what happens. Sesko will come to Chelsea. Let's see. I don't think the rush is money because the release clause is the release clause, and the offers are on the table. So I don't necessarily believe that there is a rush money wise. Going to get to this in a sec on Alvarez. Sesko's not coming. Nkunku and Jackson won't lead the line. That's not enough options given the amount of games we're playing, given injury problems and whatnot. So yeah, no, I don't subscribe to that notion at all that we're not going to bring anyone in. Not a huge fan of Sesko, fair enough. I don't think nothing's been confirmed on a Jackson missing pre-season front. We are going to get to that. Have the owners even thought of maybe getting an experienced striker and not a kid? Maybe they have thought it, but it's not the modern. It's not what they're looking to do. I don't know what the alternative plans are, but I would suspect that Aston Villa's John Duran features in alternative plans. That would be that I would expect that to be the case. I'm not a fan of Sesko, but how much is he worth? Well, his release clause is £55 million. He's probably worth a lot more than that in the market, given his age and his potential. But the release clause is £55 million. If Osimhen goes PSG, since we are not getting him, don't be surprised if Chelsea go all out for Ramos. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know. I honestly think there's a really good chance that Osimhen actually ends up staying at Napoli. I think there's a really good chance that maybe happens. But that's the latest on Benjamin Sesko, guys. Decision taken very soon, could be before the Euros. So let's see what developments we get on Benjamin Sesko this week. But let's talk about Julian Alvarez very quickly, guys, because we have he's spoken to ESPN Argentina, just giving a little update on his future. Again, nothing major, but this is what he said. Let's find it now. Julian Alvarez on clubs keen on signing him this summer. I'm calm, I feel good, and I'm happy at Manchester City, and we will see what happens. If you're happy, would you say, and we'll see what happens? Maybe I could be, micro-analyzing things too much here. But if you are happy, would you be saying, we'll see what happens? I don't know, is the honest answer to that. Maybe that's a little bit strange potentially, but let's see. Let's see on that front. But again, there's concrete interest on PSG in the player. No negotiations yet. Interest from Atletico Madrid. I think the finances, would probably make that very difficult. And then apparently, at the moment, there's been no direct contact from any Premier League clubs. But that doesn't mean that can't change. Doesn't mean that can't change. But yeah, Julian Alvarez just providing a little update on his future there. Chelsea will definitely be aware, and they'll be across the situation, and they'll be monitoring it. But let's we're going to have to wait and see on that one. That is one we're going to have to wait and see on it. I'd rather stick with Jackson than get Sesko. Fair enough, but we need someone else. We can't just go with Jackson and have no other options. And Nkunku is not a valid option at number 9. It's okay for maybe a few games here and there, but it shouldn't be a serious option at number 9. That's the reality of the situation for me. But yeah, I mean, there doesn't really seem to be an awful lot more news on Julian Alvarez. That is the latest on him. But yeah, there's certainly interest in the player, but I think the finances of the deal would be pretty large, if we're being honest here. The finances of the deal would be big. And maybe that's just not something, that sort of money is maybe not what we're prepared to spend at this point in time. That could well be the reality of the situation right now. That could well be the reality of the situation. Julian Alvarez wants to start as a striker, and we have that available for him. Oh, we do have that available for him. Makes him sound not too confident on his City future. I don't know if it's not too confident, but it leaves the door open. It leaves the door open to interpretation. That's for sure. Push comes to shove, Cole Palmer can play false 9. No, we're not doing this Cole Palmer false 9 business again. You play your best players in their best positions. We need to sign a striker this summer, and no one's opinion is going to convince me otherwise. I'd take Alvarez all day and night. Elite finisher, elite passer, and has worked with Maresca before. Yeah, he has. Yeah, we're going to get onto this now. So that's the latest on Julian Alvarez. Only a small update there, but nothing more to add on him. Let's get into this Nicholas Jackson stuff. Now, we discussed this on the show yesterday, that Jackson had picked up a serious ankle injury whilst playing for Senegal. And the Daily Mail are reporting that it's feared that Nicholas Jackson may not be fully fit for the start of Chelsea's pre-season campaign. So let's dive into this then. Nicholas Jackson may not be fit for Chelsea's pre-season campaign after an ankle injury. Senegal's 1-0 draw with Congo on Thursday, and then he missed the 1-0 defeat, the 1-0 win over Mauritania on Sunday. Obviously, we know that really we went through a statement yesterday, a serious sprain of the ankle. We know all that. New Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca will be hoping that Jackson can recover well over the summer and be ready to go. There's literally nothing in there. Nothing in there. They just basically run with, he could miss pre-season based on the injury. There's no new information in this article at all. It's one of those to get you to click. But yeah, we still await further update, guys. We still await further updates on that front. Guys, we're 10 likes away from 150. Keep smashing the likes. Let's run it up. 150 likes should be light work, people. And we're still 5 subscribers away from 9,950. Let's get these last few chalks off, guys. Keep subscribing to the channel if you're new around here. Every new subscriber is really, really appreciated. So let's make sure that you guys are subscribing. Let's get another 5 subscribers to 9,950. We are edging ever closer to the big 10K. Been hearing ramblings of that is why we negotiate for Alvarez 65 million guaranteed plus add-ons or a trophy clause. You always negotiate, but the reality of the situation is it's going to be big money. And we still don't know if Alvarez actually wants a move. That's the reality of the situation. We don't know this. If Jackson is not fit, who's going to play up front? Well, he's not going to miss the whole season, is he? If he misses a bit of the preseason, he misses a bit of the preseason. It's just, I've been seeing things about a torn ligament. Again, until the official diagnosis is released, we just don't know, guys. That's the thing. It's purely speculative right now, but it's been described as a severe sprain of the ankle, which would obviously suggest that things aren't particularly good on that front. That's absolutely the case. That's absolutely the case. So we see on that. But, let's move away from that just to kind of come full circle on this. the Levi Colwill story. We've now got breaking news, not on Colwill, but in a situation that could well affect Levi Colwill, is exclusive. There's a total agreement. Again, this has just been edited slightly. There's a total agreement between FC Bayern and Jonathan Tah about a contract until 2029. Leverkusen informed that Tah wants to join Bayern. Negotiations between the clubs expect to start soon. As reported in our show, Tah is definitely the top target for the defence for Bayern and the most concrete option at this stage. Colwell's Bayern's top alternative of a move for Tah doesn't work out as revealed. It's also possible Colwill could join in addition. So yeah, maybe this now puts to bed those Colwill rumours. He is now maybe just an alternative. But let's see. Let's see on that front, though. Let's absolutely see on that front. But that is just a little bit of a full circle on the Levi Colwill. So that Bayern have agreed a contract with Jonathan Tah. And he's informing Leverkusen that he wants to move to Bayern Munich. I mean, the Bundesliga is funny, isn't it? Because it's the only one. It's the only one where Bundesliga is the only league where, like, literally every season, like, Bayern just pick the best players from the other teams without fail. I mean, Leverkusen have won the fucking title, and they're just going there and picking off their starting centre back. It's mad, isn't it? Jackson injury, I mean, I don't know if you're being like trying to be, if that's going to be as a joke, but obviously isn't. I mean, that's not true either. You know, none of us have got sprains do heal. They absolutely do. That's very clear. Colwell's not leaving. Let's hope not. I pray Maresca. Colwell will definitely be part of the plans. Why are our players being poached? Well, look, as a top club, you're always going to have interest in your players. You know, that's the reality of the situation. You know, that is it's as simple as that, really. Light bulb head won't win a thing. Bayern Munich is a great talent. Paulinho, Colwill, Tah. I mean, look, if they can get Paulinho and Jonathan Tah, that's two really good signings. You know, and gives them a really good basis to build upon. Gives them a really good basis to build upon. Guys, we need 5 more likes for the 150. Run it up. 5 more likes for the 150. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, guys. What else is coming in here? Have the owners given Enzo Maresca a say in transfers? No, the manager doesn't have a say in transfers. You know, you can make recommendations in terms of profile of players and whatnot. But yeah, it's very much going to be a thing where he might have a small input, but the reality of the situation is he's going to be given players to work with. That's how simple it is. I play Maresca Chandler in his plans too, maybe. Yeah, let's hope so. Yes, all good, bro. All good. No, but again, like Hazard didn't look after himself at Real Madrid. You know, he wasn't injured once at Chelsea, and then goes to Real Madrid and can barely keep himself fit. You know, and that's probably more of a result of him being constantly kicked during his time in the Premier League. But at Chelsea, he was rarely injured at all. It's the same thing. He's the person in charge. You know, he's the guy running the team. You know, whether you want to call it head coach, call it manager, doesn't matter. He scored a free kick. To be honest, I'm not really too sure what the major difference is, but I guess head coach is maybe more purely focused on the football side of things rather than, you know, look, it'll be referred to as manager or head coach. It's kind of the same thing. No, I was a bit shocked at the time, but absolutely not. So yeah, anyway, that kind of brings it full circle. Yeah, of course, every Chelsea fan misses Eden Hazard. Of course they do. Yeah, let's see what else. Let's see if there's any other news coming in, guys. But yeah, that maybe puts to bed the Levi Colwill story fairly swiftly, probably like just an hour after it come out. Strange one, that real strange one. What else have we got going on here? Is there any new stuff coming here? I mean, let's see. No, there doesn't seem to be. Anyone got any questions in the chat? Let's have a look if there's anything coming in the chat. Well, yeah, it would be ideal, but it's not always possible, is it? Not always possible, if we're being honest. So, what else have we got going on? Yeah, I don't think there's too much more happening at the moment, guys. I think there's too much more happening at the moment. Any questions from anyone in the chat? I don't know. I really don't know. But hopefully soon, I think Chelsea are desperate to get as much business done as possible before pre-season to give Maresca the best chance of working with his squad for the whole of pre-season. That's what we're looking for. What are my thoughts on John Duran? He's not good enough for Chelsea Football Club. Look, I think there's definitely talent and ability there, but the reality of the situation is I don't think he's quite there yet. He's raw, he's got ability, but I don't think he's any better than Nicholas Jackson, at this point in time. So, I don't think a move for him would be great. What's up with the Olise deal? Nothing's up with it. We're pushing ahead. Talks are planned for this week, and we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, people. So I'm going to look to round this one out here. Don't you see Mudryk centrally then on the wing? No, I think he probably is a winger. I know we've done reasonably well centrally, but I think within Nkunku and Palmer, he's going to be much more viewed as a wide player. Well, nothing should happen because this is the guy they've chosen. This is the guy that they've backed. So yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen. But yeah, guys, big ups to everyone that's tuned in tonight. Greatly appreciated as always. Make sure on your way out, guys, you smash the thumbs up button, hit those likes. Let's run these likes up. And keep subscribing to the channel as well, guys. We're edging ever closer to 10,000 subscribers. 4 more subscribers required to reach 9,950. Let's get 4 more subscribers on the way out. Smash the subscribe button, join the channel, become part of the journey, help me get to 10K, and you could be in with a chance of winning a shirt of your choice for Chelsea from the upcoming season. So make sure you are running the likes up. Make sure you're subscribing. Love for everyone that's tuned in tonight. As always, I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. UK time. Make sure you tune in there. Let's see what tomorrow's got in store for us. Until then, guys, smash the like, subscribe. I'll catch you again tomorrow, 5 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Up the Chelsea and peace out, people.